It's always so special waking up to the sounds of nature, and the silence of the early morning mist, which had given way to the sound of the gibbons, is now beginning to give way to the sound of the birds as they woke up, ready to fly to a water source. after breakfast we all headed down into the forest, where we were able to see lots of beautiful birds and mammals. For a quick lunch, we headed deep into the forest. You might think that the heat of the day is not a good time for seeing birds, and usually that's the case. This was a bit different. Nan had very kindly booked us an afternoon in a bird hide. I was dead excited. The first visitor to the little miracle pond, as it's called, was a grey-headed canary flycatcher, and he gave me a good opportunity to work out things like light and focal length and just basically setting the camera up on the tripod and the gimbal. It's not something I usually do, staying static and photographing birds. I tend to wander around looking for them, but I'd need this practice for the next bird. He even slowed right down. It's hard to catch this fast-moving little white-bellied yohina, and it was going to be a while until I actually got a photograph of it and managed to get an ID on this bird that I'd never previously seen before. As the day started to heat up, more and more small birds visited the pond to cool down and splash in the water. I was gradually getting used to working the camera on the gimbal and trying to stay in focus as birds moved from branches to water to rock to branch again. But it was going to take me a while to get the hang of it. It didn't really matter. I had the whole afternoon on my side. As I begin to settle in and understand the location, and after Titnan and Iona had left, and to be fair, they put in a good hour or so there, I began to observe the birds and start understanding their behaviour. This Hainan blue flycatcher came along, and after it left, there'd be a lapse of about 10 minutes, and then this puff-throated babbler turned up, and again was there for a few minutes, and then there'd be a spell of about 10 minutes or so before anything else came back. seemed to be that they were taking turns. It was rare to see two different species at the little pool at the same time. But it made it really, really exciting, because I wasn't sure what was going to come, what was going to come back. It was great. The black-crested bulbuls, fairly common birds but charismatic nonetheless, provided kind of interludes. They would keep coming back when there wasn't anything else there. They seemed to dominate the pond, probably because there's quite a lot of them, but they were fun to watch, and it gave me a chance to practice my skills and getting the focusing right, focal length right. And I hoped that something else would come back again. I really wanted to see something different, and I really wanted to see that little euhena again that I'd only got a glimpse of. And then, of course, I was in luck. Wildlife photography is all about patience. Sometimes you might sit there for hours on end without seeing anything. Usually though, in the end, something comes along. In truth, I was really happy just sitting there in the coolest of the hide, waiting and enjoying the silence and being up there in the forest. But of course I was hoping to see some birds. I wasn't really sure what I was going to see. But it was nice that I saw these two other types of bulbul, ones which I'd never seen before. I find it really meditative, sitting there waiting for wildlife. And to be honest, one of the most exciting things is the anticipation of what might turn up. That afternoon, I wasn't let down. I saw about 10 or 11 or 12 different species. And as I said, just spending a few hours there, it was fantastic. Really, really, really lovely experience. And to be honest, I can't wait to go back there again. I was only using one camera, and I was constantly having to make the decision between getting video footage or getting photographs. I'm happy that I did manage to get some decent video footage, although I didn't manage to get rid of all the birds that came. However, I was happy that I managed to see the different bulbuls and some babblers and some warblers, and after all of those ones had left, it was nice that the afternoon ended with the same bird that had started it off in the morning, the grey-headed canary flycatcher, who came for one last bath before the temperature started to drop again. It was a lovely, lovely end to the afternoon. Before evening food and returning to our humble but homely hillside cabin, we had time to drive out a bit further out of the wildlife sanctuary to see the last light of day. We didn't see a sunset, but it was lovely and quiet and peaceful near one of the many lakes. We watched the deer taking a last bath and the swallows catching flies off the top of the water. Phu Kieow Wildlife Sanctuary is a beautiful place, and like Waikakeng, it's not easy to get to. You have to book in advance, in effect ask for permission. It's much more difficult than a usual national park, and that's kind of good. It's quiet, and it gives a chance for nature and wildlife to thrive. Long may it stay that way. We still had one more night there, a night that would be full of stars, and of course, an early morning walk for me. The best thing about these trips. man. The ball field, which Her Majesty the Queen Mother Sirikit, Queen Sirikit, kind of rescued and made this whole area. I don't know how many years ago, I think maybe 30 or 40 years ago. And right there is the lodge that the Queen stayed in, and we're staying right next door to it. Just waiting for these scarlet minivets to hopefully appear in this tree right behind me. Anyway, go back, have some coffee and eggs, then we'll have to head out and drive back down to Bangkok via Bak Chong. But it's been wonderful. It's been beautiful. Really loved it. It's just awesome. Not the mammals of Hui Kakeng, and maybe I haven't even seen that many birds, certainly not bigger birds, but it was great yesterday in the hide, and it's just been lovely. It's so quiet and cool. The sunsets and the sunrises and the stars have all been beautiful as well. It's been fantastic. So I hope to come back soon. Again, not at a weekend, because we really were the only ones here. It's been fantastic. Beautiful. There had been no mist on that second morning, only clouds dancing quickly across the mountain tops. But it was lovely. However, the strong wind meant that I wasn't really going to get a chance to see many birds in the trees, so we had breakfast and then an early departure, only after spending quite some time talking to the rangers, lovely rangers, at the office. I really can't wait to get back to Phu Kieow Wildlife Sanctuary again soon, and I hope that one day you'll be able to go too.